This is Amud Yomi Gemara Berachos Daf Chavav Amud Beis. We began the new parak, the fourth parak yesterday on Chavav Amud Aleph. Let's just pick it up from the Mishnah to give us a little bit of a running start. It says the Mishnah Tfilas HaShachar ad Chatzos. After extensively discussing the halachas of Shema, we go on to other parts of Shemona Esrei. Shachar said Chatzos, you don't arba shayis. Tfilas Mincha de Erev, you don't like a mincha. Tfilas Erev ein lo keva. Says the Gemara. We said that Tfilas HaShachar, one sheet said al Chatzos, one said until Arba Shais. Asks the Gemara, says the Reis Mitzvah on Chama. You say Shema until Neitz, K'dei says with Gula Tefillah. Name says this Bayoyim, and it comes like you davening during the day. So what does it sound like? Sounds like when do you have to daven? During the day, right away at Neitz Chama. So both Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim. How can you daven until Chatzos? How can you daven until Arba Shais? Sounds you have to daven right away by Neitz Chama. Answers the Gemara similar to what we answered by Kriyash Makitani Hilavasikin. The Rav Yechon Vasikin I government I saw im Hanetza Chama Vasikin. The pious ones would make sure to finish with Netza Chama. However, the ordinary people, we have a machlekes, we have until 4 hours or Chatzos. Says the Gemara V'Kuliyama Chatzos V'Sulai. Says the Gemara, anyone who's not a Vasikin Kitzei Shachris and only until Chatzos and not later from V'Ha'amar Ramari. Braid Rav Huna, Braid Rav Yomi, Rav Rabba, Rav Yechon, Tavalos Pal Arvis, Misal Shachris Tayim, Shachris, Misal Minchas Tayim. So what do we see? We see that you could daven Shachris at Mincha time. So why are you telling me that you only can daven Shachris until Chatzos? Says the Gemara, Kuli Alma Mitzali Va'azal. It's true you can daven Shachris all day. However, at Chatzos you have l'schar tefillah bizmano until Shachris, until Chatzos, you get the schar of tefillah in the right time. Mikan ve'elach schar tefillah yavela. It's true you get the schar tefillah. However, schar tefillah bizmano lo yavi lo. Asks the Gemara. We just mentioned that what happens if someone misses davening, he can daven again. Ibayiluhu. Asks the Gemara. Tavalos ba'al mincha. If someone missed mincha, can he daven Ma'ariv 2 times? We're in the fourth wide line of Chavav Amud Aleph. I would think, why is that Mishum the Chad Yomu? We know the Jewish day starts at night. So therefore, if you miss Ma'ariv, you can daven Shachris twice, it's all one day. If you miss mincha, Tefillah b'mkam karbanu, v'kima davar yoimai, batal karban, you missed the karban. Once it's nighttime, it's the next day, then you can't bring the karban. Or maybe keep the tzlusa rachamim, or maybe because Tefillah's rachamim is mercy, kalim b'dabayim, masali v'azli, you can daven whenever you want. So you allowed to daven Ma'ariv tashlumim for mincha. Answers the Gemara Tashema. Ta'amar Rav Huna bar Yehuda Rav Yitzchak Rav Yechon Tavalos ba'al mincha. Explicit Bryce Mispal Arvish Time Bin B'Zem Mishum Da'avar Yoimai Batal Kar Banai. The answer of, in the name of Rav Yochanan, that it doesn't have to do with the day, you can even have to ashlumim even the next day. Meisvei asks the Gemara 3 lines from the bottom, 2 lines to the bottom. Me'uvas la yuchal litzgain, v'chisar la yuchal lim noisen, that's crooked, cannot be fixed. Something that is missing can't be counted. Muvas la yuchal litzgain. What does that mean? Zeh shebi kriyash mashal arvis, kriyash mashal shachris. Oitila shal arvis, oitila shal shachris. V'chisar la yuchal lim noisen, in the chaver l'var mitzvah. This is when one's friend is counting on him to do a mitzvah, and he doesn't do it amongst them. So what do we see? We see that you can't fix a tefillah. Ma'uvas yuchalitzkain is what? When you miss a tefillah, says the Braisa. Answers the Gemara. Shapital b'mezid. When he did b'mezid, then it's true. It's a ma'uvas. You can't fix it. But if it was ba'ines, then you're allowed to do tashlum amar Ravashi. Dekanami dektani bitel. V'lokatani tash. Mamina. That is the halacha that if it's b'mezid, one cannot do tashlum. But if it's ba'ines, one can. And we turn off to Chavav and Beis today's Amud. Continues the Gemara Tana Rabbanan. Ta'av lo yisbal mincha b'erev Shabbos. Mispalel b'leil Shabbos tayim. You're allowed to daven Friday night Shemona Esrei twice in place of mincha. Ta'av lo yisbal mincha b'Shabbos. If you messed up, if you missed the mincha on Shabbos, Psalmai Shabbos tayim shalcho. Ma'avdil b'rishon and ma'avdil b'rishniya. You still say havdal in the first tefillah because always the first tefillah is the tefillah that you're doing. So again, you miss mincha on Shabbos. The first Ma'ariv, you do Havdalah, because that's a Ma'ariv. The second Ma'ariv, Shemon Esrei, you do not. But says the Bryce of Hivdal B'Shniv, Hivdal B'Rishayna, let's say you messed up. And the first one, you didn't do Havdalah. And then the second one you did, this is a good one. Shniya also, so the second one counts as Ma'ariv. Rishayna, Loi also, the first one doesn't count at all. And now you are going to be really messed up. Says the Gemara, are you telling me it's as if you didn't daven the first one of Adjina Lei, and therefore you have to repeat it? For a minute, we learned in a Braisa. So why are you telling me that if you missed Havdalah, you're going to have to go back? Says the Gemara, Kasha. This is a kasha, but as we often mention, kasha is not the same thing as tiyufta. Kasha means there is an answer. This is a big debated point. This goes all the way down to Shulchan Aruch Simin Kov Ches. That is how we paskin. We don't have time for this right now. Let's continue. Itmar says the Gemara. Rabbi Yisrael Rav Chanina says Rabbi Yisrael Chanina about 12 lines down. First one line is Yaisi. Says Rabbi Yisrael Chanina, Tfilas Avos, taking them where do the Tfilas come from the Avos. Avram Yitzavi Yaakov Shimon Levi Amar Tfilas Kineged Timidim Tkiknam has to do with the Karban Tamid. Tanik was Rabbi Yisrael Chanina. Tanik was Rabbi Shimon Levi. Tanik was Rabbi Yisrael Chanina. Why? Avram taking Tfilas Shachrish and Amar Yashkem Rabokavel Mokum Shamat Sham. Vina Mida. What does it mean Amida? Allah Tfilah. Shnemar V'Avon Pirchos Vayifalel. Yes, taking Tfilas Mincha Shnemar V'Tias Chasuch Basad of Nais Arev. Vein Sicha again. Allah Tfilah Shnemar Tfilah Nikiyah. Toif says David Hamelach. Levnei Hashem Yishbait Sicha. Or part of Sicha. You see it's Tfilah. Yaakov Tfikin Tfilah Zarvish Shnemar V'Yifgab B'Makom V'Yolin Sham. Vein Mikiyah. Allah Tfilah Shnemar V'Atal Tzvala B'Adam Azev Al Tisa V'Adam V'Ina Tfilah V'Atifka Bi. That's the Rayot of Yosef Chanina that the Gimel Tfilah is to be Davin Shachus Mincha Ma'ariv. Is Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. Continues the Gemara of Tanakh the Rishua ben Levi. Says the Braisa. We're towards the end of the narrow lines. 5 lines from the wide lines. From the name Amru Tfilas Shachar Ad Chatzais. Shari Tam Shachar Karvalich Ad Chatzais. Rav Yudem Ad Arba Shais. Why? Shari Tam Shachar Karvalich Ad Arba Shais. When the Amru Tfilas Amin Chad Erev. Shari Tam Shal Bin Arbayim Karvalich Ad Erev. The carbon time in the afternoon. Rav Yudam Apply on Mincha. Shri Tam Shabin Arbai Karav Alichad Apply on Mincha. When the Imam Amrit says Erev in no keva, I don't even know Ma'ariv is no keva. Because what is Ma'ariv? Shrei Varim Upadarim, the fats and the limbs that you burn the Bizbeach the rest of the night. So in Esachlu Ba'erev, anything that's not consumed before the evening, Krim V'Olchon Skol Laila, they're able to burn it the whole night. And that's where Ma'ariv is. Neima Amru Chamusafin Kolayim. Shari Carbon must have Karav Kalayim. Rav Yudam Rav Shais. Why? Shari Carbon must have Karav Alichat Shais. So that's our right to Rav Yosef Chanina. That's our right to Rishub and Levi. The tefillas come from either the avos or from the different karbanos. Continues the Braisa. We're 6 lines into the wide lines. What is mincha gedayla that Rav Yehuda just quoted that you have to stop saying mincha by? 6.5 hours onwards. Mincha gedana from 9.5 hours and onward. So Rav Yehuda said that mincha can only be said until plag ha-mincha. Says the Gemara, Bayalud asks the Gemara a shayla, word shayla. Vida plag ha-mincha kama kamar, or plag ha-mincha achrayna kamar. We just said there's 2 plag ha-minchas. There's mincha gedana, mincha gedayla. Did Rav Yehuda mean mincha gedayla 6.5 hours of the day? Or did Rav Yehuda mean mincha gedana 9.5 hours of the day? Tashema proves the Gemara, the Tani we learned in a Braisa, Vida Aimer plag ha-mincha achrayna kamar. V'hi achas esrei shais chasar revi. It's 11.5 hours minus a quarter, 10 3/4 hours into the day. Says the Gemara, so that Rav Yehuda really means mincha ketana, which the Braisa says is 9.5 hours and onward. And that's how we're explaining that really this means 10, 11 hours minus a quarter. Asks the Gemara, name it Rav Chanina. Let's say that the Braisa that says that the tefillos come from the different karbanos, Tam Shal Shachar, Tam Shal Bein Arbayim, Padarim and Evarim all night, Carbon Musaf. That's a kasha from Yisrael Chanina because we see that the tefillos were not from the Avos? Answers the Gemara. And it's just an asamachta on the karbanis. The Gemara proves this. If you're not going to say this, Tfilas most of the Riz Rechnina might takne. Tfilas most of what Riz Rechnina going to say. Ela Riz Rechnina is a masking that Tfilas Avos take them, and rather Vaschur Rabbanon Akarbanis. It's true they came from the Avos, but and then there was the smach. The asmachta comes from the karbanis. So stop over here. I'll pick it up from Rav Yehuda Shita the next year. B'siyata Dishmaya.